Welcome to this episode of Focus on Joplin Schools. I'm Brad Douglas, the General Manager of JHD. On this episode, we're joined by Jeff Starkweather. He's the high school athletic director, and you just recently announced, after 22 years, you're retiring.
Yes, sir.
So talk a little bit about that, about the decision.
Well, I've been here for 22 years, and it's gone by unbelievably fast.
Mm-hmm.
My secretary, Cindy Brubaker, and I we've been together for the last 11 years, and made a pinky swear several years ago that we'd kind of go out together.
Yeah.
And we started talking about it. The original plan was to go next year, but we started talking about it a little bit this year, and then she came back. She's like, I think I'm ready to go. And so when she made her announcement that she was going, I was like, well, then I'm out too.
I'm out the door too.
So we're both going.
Have you guys been together the whole 22 years?
No. Just I think Cindy's been here 14 years.
Okay.
She was an elementary secretary before she came over. Doug Doss, my predecessor, is the one that hired her. So she worked for Doug for 2 years, and then I was hired as the athletic director, and we've been together for the last 11 years.
Was it a hard decision?
It was a hard decision.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
It was. This is a place. Joplin High School is a place that I love, and I'm from Joplin.
Mm-hmm.
So this place means a lot to me, and so it was a difficult decision because of the people and the kids and I've just had unbelievable support from as the athletic director from our coaches and from our upper administrators and stuff like that, and so again, it's when Cindy made that choice too. It made it a lot easier for me because, again, we just work so well together. She's an amazing person. She's an amazing secretary. She does a fantastic job of running the athletic department, and she's going to be extremely missed by this district. I promise you.
Now, you said were you born and raised in Joplin, Mo?
That's correct.
And you went to Joplin High School too?
I went to Joplin at the time. It was Joplin Parkwood. There was two high schools here, so I'm a 1982 graduate of Joplin Parkwood. I went to Duquesne Elementary School and then went to East Middle School my 7th grade year, and they closed it down. So then I went to South Middle School and then came to Joplin Parkwood and graduated in 1982. And so my family's here. My mom and dad are still here, and my brother is here, and so my family is still in here. So again, this is a big deal for us.
You think that in your athletic classes, et cetera, is that where you got your love of sports, et cetera, by going to Joplin High School and
Sure.
inspired you?
I've always basketball was my love when I was growing up, and I played baseball, played 1 year of football, but basketball was my number one sport, and I've kind of replaced it now with golf.
Oh, yeah.
That's
there you go.
I wish I would have started that. I didn't start playing golf till I was about 28, 29 years old.
Right.
Wish I would have started a lot sooner because it's a new passion of mine.
There you go. Now, you've also worked in the Monette School District and also Missouri Southern State University. And let's talk about your first year of coaching. What was that like?
Well, it was an amazing. Are you talking about at Monette High School?
Sure. Yeah.
Because
that was your first year, right?
That was my first year.
Yeah.
I was actually spent 5 years on Missouri Southern's basketball staff with Robert Korn. I was an assistant basketball coach out there with him and learned a tremendous amount from him. He's an amazing man, a great role model, and a good friend. And I wouldn't be in this job if it wasn't for him, because he also helped me get down to the University of Alabama, Birmingham, where I got my master's degree. I was a graduate assistant for the men's basketball team down there. And my goal when I was to be a college basketball coach. And so I got an opportunity to go to UAB and got my master's there in athletic administration. And so I came back to when Robert Korn got the job at Missouri Southern. I came back with him. I was with him for 5 years. And then but wasn't making very much money, and so then got to Monette. Monette opportunity opened up as the head basketball coach there, and assistant track coach. So I went there, and it was great. Fantastic people. It gave me an opportunity to run my own program, and so it was a great opportunity. But I was only there 1 year because then the Joplin High School basketball job opened up. So I applied for that and was grateful that I got that job.
The rest is history.
Exactly.
I'm a first-year teacher, so any advice for us first-year teachers? You're the vet.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for us?
Well, you're doing great. You're extremely blessed because
Yes.
we have fantastic facilities now, as you know. That's something that you look around the different high schools and things like that, and that people don't have what we have. And so I would just encourage you to continue to do what you're doing, but also to make sure our kids know how special this is, because they don't have this at other places.
So 22 years, biggest challenge. What do you think? What did you have to get over?
Oh,
What
wow.
did you fight the most at?
That's a good question. You just stumped me here, Brad.
I didn't mean to stump the band.
I don't know.
Was the first year the hardest? Is that you got to get through those first years? You think?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, because you're the unknown
Yeah.
is the big factor there. But it's also an exciting time too, because you're getting to spread your wings a little bit and see what your program's going to look like. For me, I've been fortunate to do that in several areas. I was the head boys basketball coach for 6 years, and I was the head boys and girls golf coach for 5 years,
Right.
and then I've been the athletic director for 11 years. So it's kind of given me a new challenge every few years to get in that first year mode again,
Right.
and to really see how everything goes. But it's been a joy.
Right. What's the difference between being a coach and an athletic director? Talk about the differences a little bit.
Well, obviously, I think from the athletic director is you have to take things and see it as a big picture. Coaches, and I was the same way, are more have blinders on, narrow-minded, and they see only their sport. They want to know what's best for their sport, and that's what they're focusing on. As the athletic director, you're looking at the program as a whole.
Program, yeah.
And so that's the biggest difference, the biggest change, the biggest challenge is to you want every program to feel like you're treating them fairly. And so as the AD, that's what you want. That's been my mantra to try and do.
Yeah. And being here 22 years, you've had a lot of students pass through the halls.
Sure.
And do you keep in contact with 22 years worth of students? I mean,
I do. I mean, I'm obviously not every one of them.
Exactly.
Obviously,
There'd be
but
thousands,
that's the special part
Yeah.
about this job, about working with kids. You just absolutely love it. And when you're getting the graduation announcements, you're getting the wedding announcements, the baby birth announcements in the mail. Those are the
Your mailbox is full,
Those are the types of things that
Yeah.
makes you know that you had an impact and stuff. So it's really, really special. But
Right.
those former athletes and former students I still stay in contact with several of them, and they've been a blessing in my life.
Are you getting emails? You're getting phone calls? You're getting Facebook? Or
Yeah, I'm not on Facebook, but that's been the cool thing.
That's what I'm looking forward to, yeah.
About my retirement is the fact that I've heard from a lot of other people that I hadn't heard from in a long time, whether it be through an email, a text, a phone call, or a letter in the mail. Those
really
types
nice.
of things. It's been really awesome.
an outpouring of love for you.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any advice for your replacement who takes your job? How would you have them get through the first year, which you say is the toughest?
Well, again, I think we've got, first of all, we have great coaches in place, and so whoever it is, they're going to need to hire a great secretary, because Cindy and I are going together, and so Cindy is going to be hard to replace. But so that's going to be the key. But I think again we have great coaches to work with. It's just I'm looking forward to the next person taking the next step for our programs. We're changing conferences. In the fall of 2018, we'll be going into the COC conference, which is going to include these local schools. And so we're going to play them and get our local rivalries back again. I think it's going to be a great thing. So it's an exciting time for our athletic
Are
department.
you looking forward to being in the stands and just being a spectator?
I am. I really am. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the fun part about this job is getting to go watch our kids participate and compete. But it's also kind of nice. It's going to be really nice just to be able to go and be a spectator and sit back and not have to worry about, I got to go shut down the gate or there's whatever the case may be.
You can just watch the game, can't
Sure,
you?
absolutely.
You don't have as much responsibility.
Absolutely.
With that. What's the next step for you? What are you going to do in retirement?
Well,
Bucket list things you want to do?
I do have some bucket list
Yeah.
things. I do, yeah. I want to travel. I mean, a lot, and in order for me to do that, right after I got out of basketball, coaching basketball, I took a part-time job at the Joplin Airport, and I worked for Northwest Airlines, and so they. So I got some travel benefits.
Oh, that's cool.
And so
that's a nice perk.
Unfortunately, it's a great perk.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, then Northwest left, but left American Connection was still here. So I went across the hallway. They hired me too, and so then when I got the athletic director's job, obviously I had to give that up because there's a lot more hours working in the athletic director's job. So. I have some friends that are still out at the airport working there for American Airlines, and so I've talked to them, and I'm going to have a job out there again. So I'm going to have the opportunity to go and do some traveling. And one of the bucket list things I want to try and do is I want to go. I'm a huge college basketball fan. Obviously, that's where I told you earlier I wanted to try and be a college basketball coach, but still follow that to this day. And I want to go watch a game at Duke. I want to go watch a game at North Carolina. I want to go watch a game at Kentucky. Yeah. And so those types of things. And then just my girlfriend and I are just going to go do a lot of traveling.
That's awesome.
So.
Well, thank you for 22 years, and also thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right.
Thanks
Have
for
fun in that
having me.
retirement, and I'll see you at the airport.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. For Jet HD, I'm Brad Douglas.